Part 1: Why perusing is significant. I am an educator, and one question my understudies ask me a ton is, for what valid reason would it be advisable for me I read in the event that I currently go to class? Furthermore, watch motion pictures in English. I comprehend why they ask this. Perusing can feel hard. What's more, at times it appears to be simpler to watch recordings or pay attention to educators. Yet today I need to share why perusing is so significant and how it can help you in numerous ways. When I was youthful, I could have done without perusing much. It is possible that I would prefer to observe television or play games. However, on one occasion an educator told me something that altered my perspective. She said perusing assists you with grasping the world better. It opens up your psyche to new thoughts and it makes you more brilliant. At first I didn't trust her, yet I chosen to check perusing out, and she was correct. The more I read, the more I learned, and it became simpler to grasp things in school and throughout everyday life. You see, when you read, you are not simply taking a gander at words, you are figuring out how to comprehend and how to address issues. That is the reason perusing is significant. It helps you in manners you don't even notice at initial. One of my number one quotes about perusing comes from George R.R. Martin, the creator of Round of Lofty Positions. He said, "A peruser carries on with 1,000 lives before he bites the dust. The man who never peruses lives as it were one." This implies that when you read, you get to encounter various universes, various thoughts, and various lives. It's like carrying on with many lives, generally through the force of books. Currently, let me inform you concerning one way to begin perusing in a shrewd manner. It's called skimming and filtering. Skimming implies perusing rapidly to get the principal thought of a text. Filtering implies looking for explicit data like dates or names. These two strategies assist you with perusing quicker and center around what's significant. Skimming: suppose you have a long part to peruse, however you don't have a lot time. Skim the section by perusing the first and last sentence of each passage. This gives you an overall thought of what the text is tied in with. Examining: if you want to find one piece of data like a date or name, don't peruse all that, rather filter the text searching for catchphrases or numbers. This saves you time and assists you with tracking down what you really want rapidly. These procedures are truly supportive when you have a ton of perusing to do yet have to zero in on what's most significant. I recall an understudy once letting me know I lack opportunity and energy to peruse long books, yet I let him know you don't have to peruse each word to gain from perusing. Use skimming and checking and you'll still gain some significant experience. He attempted it and soon he was perusing like never before. Previously, perusing isn't just about school or tests, it's tied in with figuring out how to think. What's more, figure out the world, and that is the reason it's so significant. Regardless of whether you figure you don't like perusing, give it an opportunity. You may figure out that you appreciate it more than you thought. Section 2: The force of jargon. In the last part we talked about why perusing is significant. Now we should discuss quite possibly of the greatest advantage of perusing: jargon. Numerous understudies let me know I don't comprehend many words in English. This is typical in any case. Do you know the most ideal way to learn new words? Understanding. When you read, you go over new words all the time. These words are in sentences, so you can frequently figure their significance without requiring a word reference. After some time you will find out more words, and this makes figuring out English much simpler. Let me recount one of my understudies. His name was Mark. Him Brent battled a ton with talking in English. He knew a couple of words, however he needed more jargon to have a discussion. He would frequently say, "I can't track down the right words to get out whatever I mean." I let him know, "Imprint, you want to begin perusing more." He didn't trust me at first. He thought talking was the as it were method for getting better at English. However, I made sense of that. Perusing assists you with learning words in setting, and that would make his talking better as well. So Imprint began perusing. He didn't pick long books. He began with short stories and articles. Consistently he read for 20 minutes. At first he didn't figure out many words, however I told him to be patient and to continue onward. Following half a month he began to take notes, something he could see more words. Furthermore, soon he had the option to utilize those words in discussion. Imprint's story shows how perusing can assist you with building areas of strength for a jargon. When you read, you learn new words, expressions, and articulations without in any event Attempting it's quite possibly of the simplest way to work on master your language abilities. Here's one of my #1 statements about perusing from Dr. Seuss, the well-known kids creator. He said, "The more that you read, the more things you will be aware, the more that you become familiar with, the more places you'll go." This statement is so evident. Perusing not just assists you with learning new words, yet it likewise assists you with finding novel thoughts and grasp the world better. Currently we should discuss one more method for working on your English through perusing. It's called perusing out loud. This is the point at which you read a book or article without holding back rather than just in your mind. Perusing resoundingly helps you practice your articulation and makes you more open to communicating in English. This is the way perusing out loud works. Pick a short text like a page from a book or a paper article. Read it without holding back, zeroing in on clear elocution. Just sit back and relax, assuming that you make botches. The significant thing is to hear yourself talk in English. Another extraordinary method for working on your talking and listening abilities is by utilizing shadowing. Implies paying attention to somebody read or talk in English and then, at that point, you rehash what they say right after them. This assists you with working on your elocution and beat in English. It resembles working on talking with an accomplice, yet you are gaining from the sound. This is the way to rehearse shadowing. Find an English webcast or an book recording. You could utilize YouTube recordings with captions. Play the sound and tune in cautiously after each sentence or expression. Stop the sound and rehash what you heard. Attempt to match the speaker's elocution. Also, Speed 1 understudy. I had Maria was exceptionally bashful about talking in English. She said, "I'm apprehensive about making botches." I advised her to take a stab at perusing out loud at home and use shadowing with web recordings. At first she was apprehensive, however following half a month she turned out to be substantially more certain. Now Maria can talk obviously. Also, won't hesitate to join discussions in class. So in the event that you feel as you don't know an adequate number of words or you battle with talking, take a stab at understanding more and use procedures like perusing so anyone might hear and shadowing. Over the long run you'll see enormous enhancements in your jargon and talking abilities. Read makes a difference. You become your vocabulary, and that makes all the other things in English, talking, composing and tuning in, more straightforward. Section 3, perusing for fun. In the last part we discussed how perusing can work on your jargon and assist you with talking better. Presently we should discuss something similarly as significant: perusing for fun. Numerous understudies think perusing is as it were for contemplating or finishing tests. However, perusing can be fun as well, and when you appreciate perusing you learn quicker and recollect more. Let me enlighten you concerning an understudy I had named Lisa. Could have done without perusing. She thought it was exhausting and hard. She explained to me, for what reason would it be advisable for me? I read when I can simply watch motion pictures or pay attention to music. I comprehended her sentiments. Perusing seemed like work to her and she wasn't keen on perusing school reading material yet. I told her, you don't need to peruse exhausting books, you can peruse anything you like. Lisa didn't trust me from the start, yet I urged her to have a go at perusing something fun, something she delighted in. She cherished experience stories, so I gave her a straightforward experience book with short parts. In the wake of perusing only a couple of pages, she came to me happily and said, "I in reality like this, it seems like I'm in the story." From that day Lisa began perusing consistently, not on the grounds that she needed to, yet since she needed to, that is the enchantment of perusing for no particular reason. When you appreciate what you're perusing, it doesn't feel like work, it seems like an undertaking. You could peruse comics, secret stories, fantasies, or on the other hand even sci-fi, whatever makes you eager to turn the page. And here is the best part: you are learning without understanding it. As you partake in the story, your jargon becomes, your comprehension improves, and you begin to think more in English. There's a well-known expression by Joseph Addison that says, "Guessing is to the thoughts what exercise is to the body." This implies that very much like activity makes your body solid, guessing what makes you might be serious areas of strength for thinking. The more you read, the more you work out your cerebrum, and the more astute you become. One of the most amazing perusing strategies to use while perusing for the sake of entertainment is serious perusing. This implies you read a story gradually and cautiously, focusing on everything about about don't have to rush. The objective is to completely partake in the story and grasp it profoundly. This is the secret. Pick a book, or on the other hand, story you appreciate. Read gradually, focusing on each word and sentence. In the event that you go over a word you don't know, attempt to get its significance from the sentence. On the off chance that you actually don't grasp, find it in a word reference. Contemplate the characters, the plot, and how the story causes you to feel. Another procedure to utilize is perusing in pieces rather than perusing the entire book in one go. Separation it into little segments. This makes it more straightforward to follow the story, and it gives you an opportunity to think about what you've perused prior to continuing on to the following part. Let me share a tale about a kid named Max. Could have done without perusing from the beginning, however he adored superheroes, so I proposed he read comic books. At first he figured comics didn't consider genuine perusing, however when he began he proved unable. Stop. Max adored the photos and the activity stories, and think about what his English further developed. He learned new words and articulations, and his perusing abilities got better consistently. Max didn't feel like he was concentrating on, he was having some good times, and that had a significant effect. When you read for the sake of entertainment, you're not simply learning words, you're figuring out how to think, envision, and make your psyche gets more grounded, and perusing becomes something you look forward to. It doesn't make any difference what type of book you pick, what is important is that you appreciate it. There's one more axiom from Drive Seuss that I love: you can see as sorcery any place you look. Sit,